Okay, so in this second part of the video, we will be making it much like a portfolio which can be viewed and which can be shown in your CV or in your resume or something. You can add a link to your portfolio. So let's make this pretty. Let's make it look nice. And if you want, you can actually add another link saying my work, and you can show your apps to do app and you can give links to that, but that will be your homework. You need to do that, and I think you've learned quite enough to do that on your own. So first, let's use link, which is showing us that we have not used it. So here we will be changing it to so let's put another div, and right inside of this div we will be doing it. We need to remove this. Alright, so let's save it, and so let's just put the h1 for now. So now here we will be changing it to link, and we will call the class name as logo, so we can style it little later. And to where? To the home. So when I click on logo, it should go back to home, right? So I'm going to save this. I'm going to change this as well to link. Alright, so now I'm going to save it. And alright, so there are no errors. When we can go see, I can see my name here or my logo. When I so there is no style here, so I'm in my about page right now, correct? And if I click on this, it should go back to my home. That is my home page. Alright, so that is done. Now let's make it look a little pretty. Let's make it look nice. So if you observe carefully, we are getting the main to our index.js, correct? So we can style our index.js itself. And before we do that, you can go ahead and delete app.js, and I'm sorry about that. You can move it to the recycle bin. You can even delete app.css. Alright. So let's make the changes. Let's create another folder called another file called index.css. Alright, already exists. Okay. Alright, it's already here. You don't have to create one. It's already inbuilt. It's already here. Just remove everything. You don't create it. So don't create it. It's already there when you install Create React App. So inside index.js, let's start styling it. Now firstly, let's style the body. And inside the body, I'm going to put the background color as hashtag 444. I'll give a light black color. Padding shall be 20 pixels and the margin shall be 0. Let's save this and check it up. Alright. Change the background color. Now if you see in index.js, we are importing index.css. This was done when we installed Create React App. So you don't need to make any such changes. Now in our index.css, I'm going to make this a little smaller, and right here you can see both. Alright, so next let's go ahead and say h1, h2, and the p tag, the ul, whatever we have introduced, let's all put it in the font family. And the font family I'm going to have is that. So it can be shown up. So this thing changes. Now once this is done, I'm going to say ul. I'm going to target ul, that is the header. So Go back to your index.js. Let's close all of this so we don't get confused. Now, if you're thinking why we have not imported it in our CSS in import in main.js, because in index.js we are importing the component main.js. So as well as it's the same thing. So instead of putting in main.js, I am just doing it for index.css. It's pretty much the same thing. So nothing to worry about. Now we can close index.js as well. So in index.css UL, I'm going to target the header and the li. I'm going to target the li of the header, and inside of this I am going to display inline, and then I am going to say list style type none. So because all of them are of the li, that is the list type, right? So it comes with this dot and this underline and all of that. So all that will be removed. Then I'll give it a margin left of 1 rem, and I'm going to give it a font size of, let's say, 20 pixels, and save this. Now you can see that all of them have, so what happens when we say display inline, they all come in one line. I've removed the list type, that is the dot, that is the dots which come with the list, that's the bullets, the dots, and then I've put a margin of 1 rem and the font size is 20 pixels. Now I'm going to target just the UL of header, and for this I am going to give a background color of this background right here. For this shall be black. So I am targeting exactly this class name UL with header. I'm just going to give a background color of black. Save this. Now you should see a header that looks nice. Okay, it's not nice, but alright. Now once you have done this, let's give it a padding of 0 and save it. So once you have done this, your browser should look like this, and it should still be working. So now you can see how the structure works. When I'm in about, when I press the logo, it will come back to my home page. Now you see what I'm talking about, the structure. I hope you understand this better right now. Now I'm going to target the A tags, that is these. Now when I right click on this and I inspect it, it's an A tag. So it has been converted. When it's converting to the browser, it becomes an A tag. Now it is a nav link for us in our VS Code. So let's target the A tag of the UL header LIA. And right here, I am going to change the color to white. It's hashtag FFF. Now see, it became white. So that looks better on a dark background. I'm going to change the font weight to bold. Or do you want it to be bolder? You can change it to bolder. Bold looks fine. Let's remove the underlines. It does not look nice. So I'm going to change the text decoration to none. The underlines have left now. That looks much better. Then right after this, I am going to change the padding. I'm going to make it a little bigger. The padding will be 25 pixels. Alright. Now right after this, I am going to display inline block. Okay, that looks fine. You can make it smaller maybe. Okay, so we can make it a bit smaller, the padding. We can make it even smaller. Let's say 15 pixels. Okay, that's better. 15 pixels is better. 25 pixels is just too big. Okay, you can make it smaller if you want, or bigger, anything you wish. So that will be changing with the padding. Change the padding, the padding will change for here and these. So once this is done, I want to target the same thing, but this time I'll be targeting the header, and I will be targeting li. I'll be targeting the a tag itself, but this time on a hover. So that will be colored. So when I hover over it, let us make it gray. Okay, so gray will be nice. Okay, so then the font size shall be 15.5 pixels, just above it. When you hover over it, okay, it becomes small. Okay. Let's change it to 16. Alright, so let's just look it up a little later, actually. So, are we missing out anything? Alright. Once we've done this, let's concentrate on content. Now, the content is whatever is here inside. So that when we go to main.js, you can see that the content is here. That is what we are targeting now. So inside of content, I'm going to say background color will be transparent, and the padding shall be 20 pixels. Okay. Then the height shall be auto. So whatever you put, for example, if you make it 20 pixels, it will become very small. So as you go on putting content into this, it will start scrolling. So the height is auto. Don't worry, you can put how much ever content you want into it. And then the color shall be hashtag CED4. It's not a hashtag. Okay, CED4DA. That's better. You can actually make these also with that color. Let's try making it 15.2. Okay, I don't know why that's happening. Anyways, alright, so once we're done with that, let's go ahead to .content, and this time I'm going to target the h2 tag, and I will change it to padding is 0, and the margin shall also be equal to 0. Actually, we don't need this because that'll just cause unnecessary padding. Okay. Then we can concentrate on content li. So that'll be give me a margin bottom of 10 pixels. Okay. So then, and after this, let's concentrate on logo. Inside of logo, I'm going to give a color of the same thing, that is hashtag CED4DA, and then I'm going to give it a font size of 2.4 rem. Save that. So that's just really big. Okay, I know it. The logo shall be not 2, but just let's make it 2 rem. Still big. I feel like it's still big. You can keep it at 2 rem, but I'm just going to change it at 1.5. That looks better. Then I'm going to change the font weight to 400. Okay, it was, I think, add 400 at default. So text decoration, we'll remove it to none, and the underline will leave. Now the list style type shall also be removed, but I don't know why we're not even put list here, so it's not inside a list, so it's fine. Now margin shall be this margin. Margin shall be okay. Let's make some changes to the margin. So 0 on the top, 0 on the right. Let's put 18 pixels at the bottom and 0 on the left. Alright, so that made it. Alright, so this is how this thing should be looking. Actually, let's just remove the hover. This does not look nice. Or we can add a text shadow or something. Let's just try that. Next. Or just remove it. We don't need it. Doesn't really require. It's not hovering anymore. That's better. After this, let's just put a hover on the logo. So because when we hover over it or click on it, then okay, there are no problems. But we can add a hover over it. So that will be dot logo hover. The color shall be hashtag. Let's keep it very, very close. So E9E is CEF. And the text decoration shall be none. So that's better. So when you hover over it, that's the color. We can actually do the same thing for our buttons, the home, about, and contact. So let's take this, and right here I'm going to say UL header LIA. Here I'm going to do that. So when I hover over it, it should light up. It's not working. Oh, we didn't put the hover, so obviously that should work now. Okay. So when you go about it, you can see the light color. You can make any different color if you want, but that's about it. You can put a darker color to it. Now if I go to Varun, the Varun Venkatesh or whatever logo you put, it'll take me back to home. So let's make some changes to the home place. You can do whatever you wish to do, but this is how I want it to be. I'm not going to put everything because it's about you. It's your portfolio, so you can make major changes to it. I'm just giving you a simple way to do it, so you can make the respective changes. So now I'm going to say this as I'm going to say hello. I'm going to put comma. So don't do the exact same thing. Be more creative. Try to experiment with it and play around with it. So that's how you learn. Don't put the same thing. Make major changes to it, and that'll be better. So that will know that you will also know that you have learned way more, and you don't have to do the exact same thing. That'll make you more creative. Now I'm going to say I am a programmer, a developer, and designer. I'm going to save this, and this is how it is. But okay, so let's go create a home.css file and make respective changes to home. So I'm going to say call this as home.css. In home.css, I'm going to target the h2, and I'm going to give it a color of like EECE1A. This gives you a nice golden yellow color. So I'm going to change the font size to 50 pixels, or let's say 30 pixels actually. And what can we change? The margin can be changed. Let's see what happens first, and then we'll target it. Let's import home.css to our home.js. Right here, let's be importing home Be careful with the capital. I'm given H capital. You might have given it small, so be careful with that. It will throw you an error if it is different. So we have not used any preprocessors such as SAS or SCSS or whatever it is. We've just used plain old simple CSS, and React actually supports SCSS. You can install it, and that's good as well. It makes it more convenient. Now that we have, okay, it should be making changes. Let's see. Okay, I thought I had given a div the class name, but I have not. So here in your div, in your home.js file, in your div, please give a class name called home, so we can target the entire div, the entire thing, a root div. So when you save that, you can see the color changing to hello, I am Varun Venkatesh. And you can see that this is a different color and this is a different color. And right here you can go back to home.css and give it a margin bottom of, actually you don't need a margin bottom, but what you can do is you can go back to your index.css, and right here you can make some changes to your content.h2, right? Because I don't know what changes that has been made, so just make the content h2 where the padding is 0 and the margin is 0 as well. Okay, so in your home.css you can make some changes to your h2. I'll give a margin bottom of 0.6 rem, and I'm going to see it not important. Right, so that gives me a margin. I'm going to change this to 50 pixels. Okay, it was at XP, I don't know why, but so that's 50 pixels. You can save it. Okay, that's very big. Let's just change it back to 30. Or 40 can be better. Yeah, so it says hello, I am Varun Venkatesh. I'm a programmer, developer, and designer. You can make respective changes. You can put whatever you want. The full stop right there. And right after this, let's target the p tag of home. So dot home, and here I'm going to change the color to hashtag CED4DA. Yes, I think we've already changed that. Now we can change the font size to a little bigger. So let's make this 20 pixels. That's better. That looks much better, right? Remember the place where we started and where we are. This looks much better. You can play around with the colors and make some changes to it. Right after this, I am going to target the entire home, and I am going to give a font weight of Boulder. And right after this, I'm going to change the font size to larger, and I'm going to change the padding to 1 rem. Alright, so you can actually change the padding even more if you want to, and can change it to like a 1.5 rem, bring it a little inside, and okay, so that's your home page. That's about it. You can make more changes if you want. Let's go change about and the contact quickly, and then we'll be hosting it so that it's up in the web. So go ahead, go to your source and create a new file called about.css, and we'll be making a few changes there. So that will be about.css, and in our about.css I'm just going to put a border, and I'm going to say margin. Actually, before we do this, we have to go to our about.js and put a border there. Okay, so you can see that I want a border here between about me and whatever I put. So here I'm right after h2, I am going to say I'm going to create a div, And here inside my div, I am going to give it a class name of border. Alright, save this. Okay, so then I'm going to my about.css. Okay, so we'll give it a border. Actually, let's quickly close everything else because I don't want it to get confusing. Okay, so in about.js, I have put a div between about me and I am a developer. I put a div in between the h2 and p tag, and I called the class name as border. So this is how you put a border, and I'm going to say border bottom 1 pixel solid. Save it, and you should, okay, so we have to import it obviously. So let's import. I've saved it with the capital A, so about.css. I'm going to save it, and you should see a border right here. Now in this, I'm going to change it a little bit to, I'm going to give it a margin, and let's make some changes to our margin. That will be 1 rem. This will be our borders size, so you will see it very quickly. So when you do that, it becomes a little smaller. You see the gaps right here. So yeah, that looks much better, right? It's just in the middle. You can actually make it even more smaller by changing 3 to 4. Now I'm going to target about, and okay, we have not given the about div again. So I'll be changing this root div to class name equals to about. Save it. I'm going to go to about, and right here I will be saying text align to the center, and the font size shall be 30 pixels. 30 is way too big, so alright, so that's about me. And when I go to home, this is what you'll see, and when I go to about, this is what you're going to see. I'm going to make some changes in my about. I'm going to say I am a developer. I also love cycling, swimming, and reading books. After this, I can say something like I love to code, and if you are interested to contact me for work, head over to the contact page. Alright, so you can give a link to your contact page, and so it says, so I am a developer, I love cycling, swimming, and reading books. I love to code, and if you're interested in to contact me for work, head over to the contact page. There are grammatical errors and all that, so you can make those changes. I am not very sure about that. Okay, so let's head over to our contact page and quickly make those changes as well. So in our contact page, this is my contact. I'm going to say got questions, and here I'm going to create another p tag and say what questions you can email me to. Here you can put a href, and you can email me to, actually you don't have to link it. I'm just going to say at varunvenki 99 at gmail.com, or you can click on the links below. Okay, so what we are going to do is, now I'm also going to teach you how to use Font Awesome inside your portfolio. We did it earlier for your to-do app. So we'll be using Twitter, we'll be using GitHub, and with LinkedIn. We can also use, if you want, you can use Facebook. You can put whatever you want that to contact you. You can head over to Font Awesome and look it up. So next we will be using Font Awesome. We will be putting. Okay, let me save it first. So when I go to my home, I'm going to see this. When I go to my about, you can put whatever you want. When I go to contact me, this is my contact, got questions. You can email me to this email, or you can click on the links below. So I will put links right here. We will be installing Font Awesome and putting GitHub, Facebook. So when you click on it, it will go to that link. It will direct you to that link, and it will may help them contact you. So when you click on the logo, it will go back to home. So this is what we did in this. Now we can be deploying it on Netlify, and it will be up in the web.